Hey guys, what's up? Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you're new here, first off, thanks so much for stopping by. What I do is every day of 2024, I vow to check out a new band or artist. I check out 4 songs from across their discography, give you my initial thoughts on the songs individually, rank the songs, and then of course give you my overall thoughts on the artist as a whole based on what I just heard. We made it, the first big milestone. This is episode 100 of Emo Cat Dad Listens. That's right, it's the 100th day of the year. So what are we going to do to celebrate that 100th day? Well, we're going to check out the band Hundredth. So what do I know about Hundredth going in? I know that they started off as like a melodic hardcore band. I believe they released a couple albums on a hardcore record label. They then signed to, I think it was Hopeless Records, and they released another one that people call their magnum opus hardcore record. And then after that, they were like, we did everything we wanted to with hardcore, and they started a shoegaze band, still called Hundredth, but they switched their style. And a lot of their hardcore fans fell off, but they gained some new fans from that sound. I don't know how well they're doing now, but I remember in like 2017, 2018 kind of era, a lot of people were really into that shoegaze sound that Hundredth was doing. I think they were on like Coachella, if not Coachella, one of those big like indie festivals. So people were digging it at that time. I haven't really heard the band's name talked about much since then. I'm not sure if they've just been silent or what, but we're going to find out today as I dig into Hundredth for the very first time. Alright, so it appears Hundredth has 5 albums, 2 in the shoegaze variety, 3 in the hardcore variety. I'm going to skip the first one. Normally I like listening to the first one, but none of the tracks really have any streams. But starting with the second album, Let Go, the streams pick up, so I'm going to check out Weathered Town. Okay, so this is great, positive kind of hardcore. Think in the vein of like Hatebreed, where the lyrics speak to a weathered town. I'm assuming their hometown, talking about how bad it is. But they're also saying we're going to get out of here, but we're not going to forget the memories that it gave us. So I took positive out of that. I suppose they could be bad memories that they're saying will constantly haunt them, but that's not the vibe I got. Also in the lyrics, we get a lot of repetition. I know I've said it before on these videos with hardcore bands, it's kind of a trope that you need to like repeat the same lines over and over again. I will say this one didn't do it consecutively, but there were certain lines that were constantly being said throughout the song that I was like, okay, we get it. Also, we get a tease of a clean vocal. It's really only like one line as like a background vocal kind of thing. And I was just like, ooh, I like that. But it was only ever when they did that part again that we got that. I would like to see a little tease of clean vocals there throughout. Or at least, give them a bridge or maybe part of a verse. I'm malleable to anything. Next up was their final hardcore record, the one I spoke to that people claim is their hardcore magnum opus, the album Free, and I checked out Break Free, which I guess is kind of a title track. Alright, we get our first dun-dun-dun breakdown. I dug it. It's pretty cliche, but it worked well. We did get a breakdown in the last track. I had some lyrics over it. I do like those parts, but yeah, I think classic Dun 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 works well. Speaking of the last song, this track, no lyric repetitiveness. So, big thumbs up for me on that. And also, the lyrical vibe is kind of similar, except instead of wanting to break out of a town, they're kind of just trying to break out of this rut they're in, but there wasn't really too many positive vibes around this song, so maybe I was wrong, and it was kind of like a haunting memory thing in the last track. Alright, we made it. Here's where Shoegaze Hundredth is going to start. I've never checked this out. I generally don't like the shoegaze sound, so I'm hoping it kind of leans more indie rock than shoegaze, but we're going to find out together. The 2017 album Rare is by far their most popular album, and the most popular track off that is the song Neurotic. Okay, so the music here I did not dislike as much as I thought I would. It's still pretty rockin', obviously not hardcore rockin', but I was surprised to see the guitars and drums featured so heavily and the melody being kind of a heavier melody. Obviously not that heavy, because this is still a shoegaze song, but I dug it. What I didn't dig as much is the vocals on this track. This has the shoegaze vocals. Nothing against the singer of this project. I'm sure he's actually a very talented singer. It's just that shoegaze style where they put the distortion over it. I just don't enjoy hearing those vocals. But I can honestly say that wasn't the worst part of the song. The lyrical repetition returns in spades on this track, and in fact, there are some consecutive repeats where they say, lie, lie, lie. And there's also a 25-second fade out, which normally I consider 30-second outros long. At least some outros will change up the music. This literally just fades for over 25 seconds. Muchos no bueno. Alright. Their most recent release is actually a single from 2022, but that didn't get a ton of streams, so I don't know if Hundredth is falling off or if they're more of an album band. But their last released album was Somewhere Nowhere, released in 2020, and I checked out the track Whatever. Like pulling a flower from the vine. Okay, so weirdly enough, despite this being in the same lane as Neurotic, it's basically the complete opposite. The music is not very rockin', but the vocals are super well done. The backup vocals still have that distortion to it that the shoegaze style is known for, but the lead vocals sound so crisp that I really enjoyed when lead vocals were there. Now, I will say there was a run on the backup vocals where it just repeated the same line over and over again. And because it was the background vocals doing the line, it was super repetitive and it had that distortion sound. And I was like, oh my god, this song was going so well until this. But yeah, that was mostly because the lead vocal sounded so good. I just wanted them to get back to that. Alright, so those were the 4 tracks I checked out of Hundredth. Let's go ahead and rank them. Starting at number 1, we're going to give it to Break Free. No lyrical repetition here. I'm more of a hardcore guy than a shoegaze guy, so you're never going to see me picking shoegaze over hardcore, or at least I can't imagine so. But hey, if you know the world's best shoegaze band that you want to leave in the comments below as a suggestion for me, then by all means go ahead. But until I hear that band, hardcore is going to win out over shoegaze, so Break Free is obviously the number 1 track. Break Free just nudged out the other hardcore track at number 2, Weathered Town. The only reason Weathered Town fell below Break Free is honestly the repetitive lyrics. Break Free didn't have any of it, so I had to give that the nod. Lyrics and vocals are very important to me. This did have the little tease of clean vocals. Maybe if we got a little bit more, that would have been enough to put it over the top and make me ignore the repetitive lyrics, but it didn't give us enough of it, so repetitive lyrics sink it to number 2. At 3, I'll give it to Whatever. Like I just said, vocals and lyrics are very important to me. This one did not have the repeating lyrics, and it had that crisp lead vocal sound. The music wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't dislike it by any means. It's just not something I would choose to go out and listen to. Given all that, Whatever was definitely going to fall under the hardcore tracks, but hey, it wasn't last out of the shoegazy ones, because that is at 4, Neurotic. Sorry, people are going to think I'm contrarian, this being their most popular track, and I'm ranking at the bottom. I just can't get past those shoegazy vocals and the repetitive lyrics. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me. Like I said, I wouldn't choose to listen to shoegaze in general, but I can honestly say that I don't want to hear the song again because of the vocals. But I'm definitely willing to give Hundredth shoegaze stuff a try because of what Whatever brought to the table. Alright, so what are my overall thoughts on Hundredth? I get why they changed their sound. I really dug their hardcore stuff, but I like hardcore music, so that's a preference thing. However, I will say, hardcore hasn't really evolved in the last, 30 years probably. So I get that they kind of did all they could do in hardcore and was like, let's change it up. I personally wish they just went more indie rock rather than playing in the shoegaze realm, but like I said, Rare is their most popular album by far. I'm more down on that music than most people are, clearly. But the indie rock that whatever brought showed me that I could still really enjoy this band if they ditch some of the shoegaze elements that just don't agree with my personal taste. So I guess we're gonna see where Hundredth goes from here. Maybe I'll check out that 2022 single and see what it sounds like. But it's been quite a while of inactivity, so I'm interested to see what happens next with the band. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out this Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you just stumbled upon it, well, you stumbled upon episode 100, so you got 99 more in the can to go back and check out if you so wish. But if you just want to stick around for the next 100 plus, I'm down with that too. Please go into the comments now. Give me your thoughts on Hundredth. Do you like the shoegaze stuff? Do you wish they stayed hardcore? Are you excited as to what they'll release next? Or are you just over this band now? I want to have a conversation with you guys, so please leave your thoughts down below. And while you're down there, please leave me some suggestions of other bands or artists that you think that I would dig and that I should check out. Last but not least, like I said, I hope you stick around for the ride. And the easiest way to do that is if you cut my wrist and hit subscribe. Emo Cat Dad signing off until tomorrow. I want to hear you sad.